Somebody stop us! What's going on? This market is literally a joke, guys. This market is a joke. I repeat, this market is a joke. I mean, we called it. How? Just tell me somebody how. Does anybody know? I don't know. But in the month of December, but more specifically December 9th of 2024, I tweeted out XRP $1.62. Where was that exactly? December 9 comes out to right here, guys. Basically when XRP was around $2.30-ish. Okay, now it finally actually happened. $1.62. What price did XRP bottom out? It bottomed out at $1.61, literally a cent or like half a cent. It went over the prediction, right? So that just happened, guys. That's just, again, this market is a joke. So let's talk about the market. What's happening, right? If that was a bottom, I don't know. There's actually a lot of bullish narratives coming out and about. So let's investigate. One thing's for certain is that XRP versus Ethereum chart is just rampaging. What's going on? Ethereum is literally dying, guys, right? I mean, a coin, an asset cannot die for too long, right? Ethereum seems like it's repeating XRP cycle where it was just going sideways and dying, right? While Ethereum and Bitcoin were taking the spotlight. So it seems like that's what Ethereum is doing. Again, Ethereum won't stay down for too long, in my humble opinion. Whenever it does reach its bottom, who knows where that'll be, but look at XRP. It's going for Ethereum. It wants to kill. Right. Now for XRP, more specifically, guys, we do see some supports coming in at around $2.13 for the 1 monthly VWAP right here, and then the 3 monthly is going to be resistance, right? As you guys can see from previous times. Now, somebody did point out, though, coming down here, there's actually an inverse head and shoulder pattern forming, right? So the left shoulder right here, the head, and the right shoulder, right? This target is like around $2.50. That's interesting, right? Which matches up if XRP can actually hold these levels, which it's it actually is holding $2.15 right now. So that's amazing, guys. Well, we see higher targets. Now, why did we pump? Why did we pump? This was 13 hours ago. This is why we pumped. $1 billion USDT minted at Tether Treasury. Right? So that's why we pumped, guys. Again, this market is propped up by Tether alone, right? There's obviously real money that enters this market, but it's mainly fake, right? Paolo has the most significant role of this market, right? And it's just to print as much as they can and just buy Bitcoin. Now, for Bitcoin, guys, there's actually $8 billion worth of Bitcoin shorts to be liquidated at $90,000. That's insane, right? So they're at some point in time they're going to take that, guys. And I have noticed there's a lot of money to be taken if these crypto prices do go higher, right? There's a bunch of liquidity to be taken, guys. And Bitcoin shows about $8.5 billion worth will be taken at 92K right here, right? But then 90K is 8 billion. So they will go for that at some point. Will they go for it now or after they drop it one more time, right? It would make the most sense, to be honest, if they dropped it one more time to fool everyone, then go for it, right? But that's just my opinion, though. They could just go for it now. What is Bitcoin's price at the moment? 85K. Oh, it's basically there, 5 more thousand. But what is interesting is that someone just opened a $200 million long position on Bitcoin. He knows something, right? So supposedly somebody just, I don't know, he's been buying crazy amounts, guys, all the way from here, right? As soon as Bitcoin started skyrocketing, he was like, buy, right? Then sold some up here, bought some more, and then he just bought some more, right? He's in the millions of dollars of profits right now. Millions, like $7 million, probably a bit more actually, right? $8 million, guys. His liquidation level is at 83.3k it seems as, right? So if he's still in this trade, which I don't know if he's in 100%, we're going to keep going higher, right? Now if he leaves this trade, if he takes his profits, we're probably gonna dump, guys. So let's see what happens with this trade, right? I don't know who it's from, but it's probably out there. Maybe something is coming, something positive, because White House confirms that El Salvador president will meet with President Trump on Monday. Will they talk about Bitcoin, right? We know El Salvador loves Bitcoin, guys. They're actually Bitcoin maxis, right? They actually own Bitcoin, for that matter of fact. They have been buying a Bitcoin since when Bitcoin bottomed out at $16,000.
But as you mentioned, President Bukele will be here at the White House on Monday to talk about the cooperation that is at an all-time high. And we very much appreciate President Bukele and El Salvador's cooperation in the repatriation of El Salvadorian gang members who the previous administration allowed to infiltrate our country.
Seems like they're going to be talking about other matters, but maybe Bitcoin will be brought forth into the discussion because, they love Bitcoin. If they do talk about Bitcoin, that's actually something very bullish. And as well as Binance founder CZ just said that Bitcoin is definitely going to $1 million. We are just at the beginning, right? So here's a few price predictions, and they are insiders, right? The people who give these calls are insiders, guys. So maybe we should actually take it quite seriously, right? I do believe we haven't topped out yet. We still need to see all season, probably end of this year. And we still need to see that euphoria blow off top before the collapse. So what price will Bitcoin head to? 300k, 600k, $1 million? Let us see.
Advisor, you think we're going to hit $1 million Bitcoin this year?
Oh, this year I'm not sure.
But you are confident that we will?
Over time, yes. I don't know if it's next month, this year or next year or however long, but eventually we will. I think we got enough momentum that this technology is just starting. I think people kind of have very high expectations for everything to happen instantaneously. So back in 1995, people wanted real-time video conferencing. Even today, video conferencing doesn't work that well all the time, right? We still have, hey, can you see me? Can you hear me? Kind of thing. So it takes multiple, like in 1995, people want e-commerce, but the payment infrastructure wasn't there. The logistics infrastructure, the delivery wasn't there. So it took many years for Amazon to develop that. So I think people underestimate the amount of time required to develop an industry, and they're less patient. But I think long term, though, we've seen, we've been around. Crypto has been around for like 15 years. But the first few years, nobody cared about it. And the next few years, everyone's skeptical about it. And now people are just starting to be more serious about it. So for me, like we're just at the beginning. So I think we have many more decades to build this industry. So we'll definitely hit $1 million, I think.
$1 million Bitcoin. I mean, if he's talking about a long time from now, maybe 5-10 years from now, that's after the collapse when Bitcoin probably just died. Right, and it gets revived, and it goes to these higher prices. So we're going to see. I mean, we're going to be on the right side of law and history, guys. We're not going to get priced out, though. Some of us already have. Now, the current plan on NACE's crypto reserve is to stockpile a variety of crypto assets without the need of purchasing them off the open market with taxpayer dollars. Acquisition through confiscation. XRP might be the choice for settlement of the Ripple case, right? So if these things do happen, guys. Very, very, very extremely bullish. Now, the most extremely bullish narrative that can occur is money printing by the Fed, QE, and lots of it, like 30 trillion. 30 trillion floods the market, guys. It's over. Bitcoin 500k, if not more, right? An enormous amount. So, honestly, that's all we need, right? But United States White House considering using gold reserves to buy Bitcoin. Now, this is where another major narrative can occur to take prices very high. They're talking about gold reserves. White House says gold reserves may be used to purchase Bitcoin. This is diabolical because gold has been skyrocketing, right? So if they move the money from gold, the gold markets into Bitcoin, it's game over, right? That's like another glitch. Instead of money printing, they could just do this. But obviously money print. Imagine they did this. Imagine money printing. Imagine every bank or all these countries and nation states buying Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. It's just going to get diabolical, guys. I'm telling you, people are not realizing it. People are getting priced out right now. A senior White House official has hinted at the possibility of the United States utilizing its gold reserves to acquire more Bitcoin. What happened to So what happened? The executive director of the President's Council of Advisors on Digital Assets suggested in an interview that the naysayers could capitalize on the gains from its gold holdings to purchase more Bitcoin. That's what we just stated. I didn't even read this beforehand. I'm reading with you guys right now, guys. Right? Because they could take the profits since gold has already been up. That's what people. That's the same strategy people use. On cryptos. So basically, what some people do is they buy Bitcoin, then when it rallied so hard, they transfer it to Ethereum, then XRP and these other S coins. Right? It's like the flow of money going from the highest and the safest to the more S and more riskier cryptocurrencies. So I guess it's another version of that if they move gold money to Bitcoin. Now, Hines referenced the Bitcoin Act of 2025 proposed by Cynthia Lummis, which advocates for the naysayers to acquire 1 million Bitcoin, approximately 5% of the total Bitcoin supply over a span of 5 years. That's insanity. Wow. This acquisition would be funded through the sale of the Federal Reserve gold certificates. I'm telling you, that's the game plan. They want to make this market explode towards the upside. Quote, if we actually realize the gains on the naysayers gold holdings, that will be a budget-neutral way to acquire more Bitcoin. Wow. It's high time that our president started accumulating assets for the American people, which is what President Trump is doing rather than taking it away. Insane, end quotes. Guys, that's what we need to happen. Plus the money printing, yeah, it's game over. With clear naysayers regulations, inflows from major funds are expected to start in earnest in 2025, right? And that's what's happening, especially that Trump is in office. Inflows from major funds are expected, guys, in this year, right? I mean, it's already happening. Another narrative that needs to flee away is President Trump says something positive will come out with China, right? This black swan, that's kind of a weird black swan, because usually a black swan would just appear, then everyone would know. But at this point, we're actually uncertain what Trump will do next with his tariffs, right? So it could just kind of, this black swan could kind of implode, right, or become smaller. Nobody knows the next decision that will occur. So that's all for now, guys. Let's see what happens with these. Let's see what happens with these crypto prices. I mean, so thus far, it's looking good, right? It's looking good. Not financial advice. Let's see what happens next. What is this? So, see ya.